Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello, and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And so how's everyone doing this week? We had Easter this week, so I hope everyone's enjoying some chocolate.
Got way too fat.
Nah, it's good.
Yeah, I have so much chocolate. Oh my gosh. I think my diet has been 90% chocolate the last few days. Chocolate and cookies.
That's fair. Yeah, I haven't gone yet to the grocery store to get all the chocolate on sale, like the mini eggs specifically.
Oh, shit. That would have been a good call.
Yeah, I know. I need to do that. I might do that after this, to be honest. But yeah.
That's fair.
So did everyone have a good weekend?
That was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It was a good weekend. Lots of food.
Good,
Lots of
good.
ham.
See, I'm more of a turkey guy for Easter. That's just my family, but
We had turkey and ham.
god damn, fair enough. Okay.
There was a lot of big meats.
No,
I feel like I should not have said that out loud.
no, that's whew. Not gonna touch that one.
Nope.
Oh, that was like a split second of, ooh, I should not have said that. But anyway, okay,
Yes.
cool.
Just remember we were merciful this day.
Yes, we could have gone there, but we didn't. Hey, and this
That's
cat
all right.
is just annoying right now. Tooth will not leave me alone. He just wants to be all over me, so I have the cat for now.
Hi, Toof.
Just one of those days. So yeah, anyone watch any racing this weekend?
No,
God.
none. Did you? I was busy
Yes.
on Sunday. Okay, well, you had a Sunday brunch. I had a Sunday dinner, so I can't just like pop NASCAR on
That's exactly
at
what
Sunday
you do.
night dinner.
Though I missed the first stage. I was listening to it on the radio.
Okay.
But besides that,
I watched the highlights. Like, I fully watched the highlights.
you say that every week. It's like other weeks you half don't watch the highlights.
Other weeks I've watched the race
It's okay.
this year.
Steven, did you watch?
No, I got vetoed by Eden's family. Had to watch
That's
Blues
fair.
baseball, which I didn't hate, and I think that was actually over before the end or the start of the race, and then it was college basketball.
I see. Yes, March Madness.
You two disappoint me.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Hold on.
I ain't causing scenes at my first Easter, okay?
Coward.
I got to talk F1 with her cousin, so that's good enough. I'm going to take that as a win.
Okay.
There you go. That is a win. So there was some racing over the weekend.
Discussed, yes. Watched? No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, so
well,
it
is what it is.
I'll carry this Richmond conversation because, god damn it, I actually watched the race and I enjoyed it. I know.
heard good things.
Yeah, this was an example of a good race, I think, ruined by the ending.
Okay.
Because basically, okay, the start of the race, you had NASCAR running its wet weather tires. Because it started to rain, the track was damp, so it started on the wet weather tires. Honestly, made it pretty interesting. I think the early mover of the race was Josh Berry, who started 30th, who basically went through the field, I think, on the wet weather tires. Really exciting to watch. You had, I think, in the first stage, all the Hendrick cars were up there in the top 10, and most of the Gibbs
Shocker.
cars also. I say most. I think there was two of them. Oh, and the 2311 guys were up there too. It was kind of not really jockeying a whole lot up front, but there were some good battles in the pack, and you also then had a competition caution because of the wet weather tire, so everyone could basically see how they're running, get another pair on, see how they're doing, and then basically the first stage was the wet weather tires. And that was real talk of that. Then the second and third stage, the race really began. And it was pretty much Larson and it was Larson and
Bubba?
Truex. No, Truex.
Truex.
Who really became kind of the dominant ones in the race. And they were just pulling away. You also had a couple times where it looked like you were going to get a split strategy of, I think it was Bell was trying to go long on his first stint. He then screwed up and had I think too fast speeding penalty if it was. He had a penalty of some kind and basically had to kibosh that strategy. The only incident you had of the race was really Kyle Busch spinning. And that part of like really only caution yellow really. Besides that, it was a really clean race. And with about 3 laps to go, it looked like, okay, Truex has this. He is pulling away. I think who was he pulling away for the time? I want to say it was Logano maybe he was pulling away from.
Yeah, it was Logano.
Yeah, it was Logano
I
and
think
Hamlin.
Bubba was up there. Hamlin was up there.
Bubba was fighting with Larson and spun him at the line accidentally on the last lap when Truex had less than a corner, like basically the last 2 corners to go. He was in the backstretch. And I don't think there's anything more heartbreaking than that.
Yeah, that's a really, really painful one. Yeah, so like what? The caution comes out on the last lap, right? And then takes it to overtime, first overtime race of the year.
Yeah, first overtime race, and I think it added absolutely nothing to this. So you had the caution, you had the overtime, everyone pits, everyone comes out. Hamlin jumps the start, everyone gets mad, yada yada. Truex kind of gets shuffled out. He gets kind of hit by, was it Hamlin gave him a little bit of a bump, and then Kyle Larson also kind of hit him. So Truex goes from basically winning the race within 2 corners to finishing 4th. Hamlin goes from 3rd, not catching Truex or Logano, who's starting to fall back, to winning the race. And really, it just kind of felt like the entire race up until that point did not matter until the overtime. Like, especially on a short track, I feel like overtime shouldn't be a thing on short tracks. Because when it comes down to overtime, it's whoever gets out of the pits first.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're going to wreck a guy who's in front of you. So it was a good race. They had good competition. Guys coming, guys going in the pack, and it just kind of got a little sour at the end with, I think, Hamlin having an undeserved win.
Yeah, that's fair. I did see that, like, it looked like Truex was just absolutely fuming at the end of the race. I couldn't tell. Oh yeah, and like, fair, totally get that. And I was trying to figure out if him kind of bumping Hamlin was at the end, like after the race, or if it was during. But yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking ending for him, especially like having driven at least maybe like the last stage and a half up there and really well. So massively disappointing for him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, really. And I think everything you want in a NASCAR race, good competition, a fight at the end. A fight at the end doesn't mean it has to be like a side-by-side racing, but you had Hamlin and Logano closing in on Truex as he's trying to make his way through the lap traffic. Like, that's all entertaining and exciting because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Like, as you get into the last few laps, it's building, it's okay. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Like, you get this kind of, rising crescendo, and then caution drops the floor from underneath you. Now I got to go wait 10 minutes. Okay, commercial. Okay, now we're going to have pit stops. Okay, now we're going to reform, get the thing. overtime and the whole NASCAR rule really does hurt the excitement for the end of races. Like, a race should be you build and build to this finale of finishing. And with NASCAR and with its overtime rules, it's just kind of like, okay, we're getting there, and kicking the ball. Sorry, you gotta wait. So I stand by I hate overtime. I will deal with stages. I can deal with stages. I don't like stages and overtime.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like after watching a couple of NASCAR races, yeah, like I feel like stages is just not, like, you kind of get used to them after a little bit. Like, kind of like, meh, it is what it is. But overtime is just annoying as heck.
And honestly, like, yeah, like looking at the Jeff Gluck, was it a good race-o-meter, as we always do for seeing, I guess, fan reaction for NASCAR.
Was it a massive bleh?
It wasn't great, I'll be honest.
That's not surprising.
I think when I checked it was like almost 50-50. And like,
Ooh.
I kind of get that as...
Honestly, that's kind of higher than I anticipated, to be honest.
But like, I feel like the negative is because of how it ended.
That's fair.
Like, the actual race itself wasn't terrible, and wow, I had to scroll a while to find this. Okay, yeah, so it's 51-49.
51 for what? Bad race or
51
good
for
race?
good, 49 says bad.
It's pretty close.
It is. But you can't let the ending ruin the actual on-track, I guess, the show, as you would say. Because it was entertaining. You know, you didn't know what was going to happen. The ending sucked, and also they missed the restart on the TV broadcast, which was kind of embarrassing. So by the time they cut back, it just was like Hamlin's in the lead. So no one actually saw him jump. So,
But that's probably just so that poll is probably just an accurate representation of the fact that it's a long weekend. You get people tuning in late to the race, probably, or more people tuning in late than usual, and only catching a third stage that was, as you said, not great.
Yeah.
Right? So, because Richmond, it's not the greatest track, but
attendance
you can still
is bad.
Yeah. Well, like Easter weekend, it's gonna drive down the numbers, right? Like, I feel like you got to take that into account a little bit.
Yeah, they're really hurting for. Sorry, what did you guys watch on the weekend? Baseball and March Madness.
Basketball.
Were those
did
places
not.
empty? Like, you know, like was there no one showing up for a March Madness game because it's Easter weekend?
Okay, well,
I saw I saw this
March
today.
Madness like a religion down there too, just as much as football is in the States?
That's right. But I saw this brought up. People were saying like, "Oh, NASCAR shouldn't race on Easter because, you know, it's a religious holiday, all this bullshit." But every other sport can still do this. And if you're not getting the guys turning out for your event, maybe there's a problem of how you're marketing your events.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the event itself. Right?
I don't think Richmond's a bad track. I think it's a pretty good short track, to be honest. I enjoy it. And like, I guess not everyone's cup of tea. Not like the short track package isn't the most exciting for NASCAR. But this is what you have, and it wasn't terrible, you know? There was a lot of this, I think, doom and gloom. Like, I'm still saying the race was good. But I see also online a lot of people saying that there was problems with the race. It's either bad finish or bad package, or you shouldn't have it on Sunday, Easter Sunday. Like, it's one of those things where it's one of those, you cannot please everyone. But I feel like no one's actually looking at the positives. it's focusing on the negatives and wanting to change the negatives, but no one's actually focusing on what is the good things coming out of these.
I feel like that's like kind of across the board, like in terms of NASCAR stuff, like most of the criticism is like looking at a lot of the bad and not necessarily any of the good. So I think it's kind of one of those constant issues. But again, I think it goes back to the fact that like NASCAR just doesn't do well with marketing their sport at all. But I don't know. We know that things need to change. People stop watching, but I don't think it has anything to do with it being on Easter weekend.
Yeah. And on the bright side, we got another short track this week for Martinsville, which again is historically a good track, and I like Martinsville. And let's hope that's a good race. We shall see. Yeah. Quick question, Steven.
Yep.
Where is our NASCAR picks teams? Where are we at?
You want another fantasy update? Didn't we
I'm
just
just
do one
curious.
last week? You're
No,
still
we didn't
losing.
last week.
Oh, well, you're still losing. Congratulations.
Yeah, because last week we had Peter. We didn't talk about the fantasy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still losing. Congratulations. I'll say it for the third time.
I mean, yes.
You're still down over 100 points. Taylor's down almost 200 points to me.
Wow.
You guys, and that's with you guys making up ground.
Yeah, no, I know we're making up ground. Who is blowing us out of the water on your team, and who are our anchors?
Well, it's the fact that I've got my lowest score is at 199 with Reddick.
Of course. Right.
Your lowest guy is still
Taylor-
10th in points. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so that helps. Other than Hamlin for you, Sean, you have Elliott at 209, Busher at 185, and Keselowski at 163 because he had a really shit start to the year.
Actually,
Taylor's got
those RFK guys are also looking better too.
they're getting better, but we're 5 races in, so a shit start's going to show more now. But if Ford can start figuring it out,
No, that is fair. I was pulling up the how they're doing because I was pretty high on RFK doing better. Yeah, Steven, we're 8 races into the season.
Jesus,
We're
I don't
almost-
know where the time.
We're almost a quarter through the NASCAR season,
What?
not including the playoffs. The season.
Right. The season. I know that my anchors are Logano and Bubba.
Yeah,
Like,
so
how to go.
Logano, even while finishing second, is still only at 149 points,
Oh my gosh.
and Bubba's at 165.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I'm
The
pretty
fact that
happy with
no-
this Busher Keselowski. They've been doing a lot better They've all been top 10 the last 4 races, except the one where Keselowski wrecked. Besides that, listen, 7 out of 8 top 10. I'm confident going forward with them.
All right, there you go.
Steven's luck's gonna run out.
Yes.
probably.
Let's hope.
We shall see. Got a long way to go still to make up that ground, but it's easier in NASCAR than
Yeah, like
IndyCar.
Yeah.
IndyCar, just give me the trophy already. Like, let's be honest.
The 4-point
All
difference.
right.
Fuck
All
off.
right. All
Question,
right.
are we-
All right.
Are we counting Thermal Club at all?
No.
No.
There weren't any points.
That helps you guys, not me. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm still saying no because there
Okay.
weren't any fucking points given out.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like it wasn't a points race. Why would we count it towards our fantasy?
Yeah.
Why? So you could just throw us a bone? No.
Be more fun. Keep it competitive, you know?
It's a 4-point
Okay.
difference.
Sir, we are
We've had
one
one
race
race.
into the IndyCar season, and you've already decided you're winning? All right.
Yes.
I can't wait for no one to win on your team anymore.
Though I do not want to talk about F1 fantasy. That can fuck off with a big stick.
I haven't even.
It's
looked at it, to be
terrible.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats to my brother for probably winning that this year.
Oof.
It's yeah, he's pretty decently ahead. And I have no idea where I am because I'm pretty sure I am very below.
I am. What are you eating, Taylor? And yes,
I'm not.
Okay, what are you stirring? Because you could hear it into the mic.
Sorry, sorry. I thought it was further away.
Like, is that some macaroni in a pot? Like, what's going on there?
It's macaroni.
Oh my god.
It's macaroni.
You fat fuck. That's like that clip of those streamers where it's like, let me guess the chip. Yeah, not very crispy. Is it kettle? It is.
I'm so sorry.
I've never seen that.
I will send it to you. It is fucking hilarious.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, F1 fantasy is terrible.
That's fair. Before we move on, I guess from NASCAR talk, did you guys see what was that? What happened? Joey Gasted.
No.
Oh, is that the guy that threw his bumper?
Yeah, just threw his bumper at a guy. Got fined.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
He was so bad through his bumper. That was too funny.
you don't see that now and then. But it would have been better if he got it in the window.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like, you could tell how fired up he was in the clip. What happened though to make him do that? Because I didn't see the before clip of what happened to his car and why he got so mad.
You got wrecked. You're in the lower divisions. You might as well make a stink of it.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, you know how it is. One thing also I've noticed noticed in the Xfinity is probably my favorite Xfinity driver. I would say Sheldon Creed. Always
You say Frankie Muniz.
No.
What do you mean? It's not Frankie Muniz?
Full time.
Okay.
Sheldon Creed was always my favorite, especially doing like the stadium super trucks, watching him since he was a teenager. I've always wanted to see him do well. Since he has come over to Joe Gibbs, yeah, I really he literally has been like either a top 5 finish or DNF.
Checkers with records, baby.
And that is a guy who I am just waiting to go off. Like right now, Xfinity, it's a fight between two guys. It seems every week. It's either freaking Austin Hill or Chandler Smith. Those guys have essentially won 4 out of the 6 races.
Yeah.
Coda doesn't count. You were facing Kyle Larson. Fine. But like, it's just one of those things where you feel like a guy that made a team change because he was never going to go anywhere with RCR. Gets picked up by Joe Gibbs. Finally might have a team that actually supports him. So far to start the year, I'm disappointed in that performance. But I know there's only a conversation to be had here. I'm just saying that Xfinity, for me, watching has been more disappointing because I've been waiting for him to go off, and he just hasn't.
Oh, okay.
And also, Hill pisses me off.
Why?
He's kind of a dick.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he could join the club on that one. There's a lot of them.
That is fair. Racing is kind of full of them.
Particularly NASCAR, I feel.
You know what? I don't really know. Is there anyone in the Cup Series you really hate?
In the Cup Series? Hamlin.
Do you? Okay, scale of 1 to 10. Fuck it.
Oh.
Let's just go do this. I'm gonna go through because I actually think there's no one that's really hateable in the Cup Series. Like truly hateable.
What?
Like honestly,
really?
Honestly.
Well, I guess I see what you mean. I mean, I feel like Hamlin comes off really
dickish.
Very dickish. But I can understand why people love him too.
Yeah.
So I guess you can't truly hate him. You can dislike, but not truly hate.
Like
I'm trying to think.
Okay, just going through the championship. Truex. What would you give Truex out of 10 on the hate level?
On a hate level?
Yep.
I don't know,
Personally
like
or
a
like
3?
Personally, like
Two,
or
one,
like how
I
you
don't
feel
know.
the fan base.
Like it's
A
pretty
3?
low for him, I think.
Yeah, like Truex, not really hateable.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson.
I think you could give that a solid 5.
I'd
If
say
we just want to
5.
skip over.
4.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's done stupid shit. But besides
Yeah.
dropping a fucking hard R N-word in the live stream, he hasn't done a whole lot else that's really a bad guy stuff.
Yeah, so we can give that a solid 5.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs, despite being a massive douche in like Xfinity, now that he's in Cup and actually has like competition and is not given everything, I feel humbled a little bit. Also,
Well,
how the fuck
and
is he
also,
fourth?
I was gonna say is currently 4th and is proving. Well, it's not just because I'm not just on the team because Grandpa owns the car.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's a very very quiet 4th, and he lost places this week.
Yep.
I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, I mean it's been a decent start to the season for Gibbs.
I don't think Blaney's that hateable of a guy.
Loved by the moms.
Blaney?
But like,
I love Blaney.
how many guys are hated just because they're popular?
Oh, probably like majority of the ones that are like within the top 10
Yeah,
or
like-
so.
like
Like
people
the bigger names, I'd say.
Like Chase Elliott, William Byron. Guys hate them because they're popular, but like, as people,
Why?
they're not hateable.
Okay, William Byron builds Legos to like de-stress himself. How can you hate that?
Was this like a National Autism Week or something? Sorry. He plays video games and builds Legos. I feel like that joke kind of makes itself. Come on. No?
Okay.
But yeah, like honestly, like Ross Chastain, the fucking watermelon farmer, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't hate that either.
Tyler Reddick, the ginger, okay.
Okay.
I'm sure that would be a loved nickname.
That would be like, again, I don't see an actual whole lot. Like even Kyle Busch nowadays is kind of like not that big of an asshole.
I could still see a lot of people that have been around for a long time being like, no, fuck that guy.
I think you can hate him for what he used to be, but I think at his current moment, I don't think he's that hateable.
Yeah. Like he's a guy that probably ends up at around a 5 or a 6, but again, it's mostly just a lot of people staying around and being like, if you don't love him, you don't like him.
Yeah, like I actually believe the NASCAR drivers are the least hateable drivers in all of racing. The Cup
So
Series
maybe-
specifically.
Okay, so Cup Series. We have to specify it with Cup Series because maybe it's just the younger generation in Xfinity who, I mean, they're all out to prove something. They probably have all been told that they're the best thing since sliced bread for most of their...
They have chips in their shoulders for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's kind of like the environment that Xfinity is. I mean, they're all trying to prove themselves anyway to get into Cup, right? So...
Yeah. Like, meanwhile...
Yeah, you find more attitudes there.
Meanwhile, like, IndyCar, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of guys here kind of hateable.
Oh, yeah. Ferrucci, 10 on the
Yeah.
hate scale.
Grosjean, people also kind of hate him.
I can understand why.
Yes. Willpower, a lot of people think he's an ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point. I do really see your point.
Doesn't Peter hate Newgarden?
I don't know. He hates a lot of drivers.
Why is
It's
he
hard to
so
keep up.
hateful? Okay,
Newgarden
no, but
or
like,
Peter?
Peter, like we gotta have him back on and go over exactly who he hates and why.
That's the summer break episode.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a summer break episode because, like, I'm pretty sure he'd start number 1 with George Russell.
Okay,
Yes.
so now we're going into F1.
On
okay.
and on. I'm just saying. Although I kind of agree with Russell being hateable because he's just annoying as heck.
Russell is probably my number 2.
Number 2,
Behind
what?
F1.
Most hated.
Oh,
Most
okay.
hated? Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind who?
Lando.
7?
Uh,
Oh, yeah. Lando didn't get a good edit a couple years ago in Drive to Survive, so a lot of people started hating him.
No, Lando's a dick.
Yeah, he is.
Lando is
He
great
doesn't
at
come off
social
well.
media and like all that, but like I remember someone saying, I saw a clip from Australia where some fan, like I think he chirped Lando and said something like, was it like, when are you gonna finally win a race? He just turns and flips him off. Like,
Interesting.
and then I see that the Instagram post of that, and Lando does the crying laughing emoji on it. I'm like, that was not your face in the moment, Lando. Don't tell me you're laughing. It's all jokes. No, you're pissed off, and your first instinct is to flip a guy off.
Yeah. Nah, and I mean, some of the comments he's also made about, like, his place at McLaren, the guy's got a massive ego, too, right? And I'm like, is it necessarily the most deserved? Or, like, does it make sense to have that much of a massive ego? Not really, but all right. Like, it's kind of the same thing as like Russell's attitude if he feels like he deserves to be given everything and be the number 1 everywhere and he's the best racer on the grid and all of that, you know?
I put Lando in the same tier that I would put Stroll, that I would put the French boys, and I would put Albon.
In terms of what?
Talent. I think there's
Talent?
definitely
Yes.
there is this level.
I
of
was like,
but
huh?
people pump up Lando to be one of these top guys. Like he could be against Verstappen, he could be against like Leclerc, Alonso. I've not seen anything like that.
I agree.
he's had
I
good
would agree
drives
with
here
that.
and there. It's not like a consistent. Well, no, it's just the car holding him back, and he has had times where he can perform what he's given.
It's either the guy is good or the car is holding him back. That's always the thing. There's never.
Yeah. How about we diagnose both with mid?
Maybe.
Solidly mid. I mean,
He's a good driver.
We can't deny that.
He's not
Like,
an
we can't deny that he's
exceptional
talented.
Every driver in
Right.
F1 is talented. Truly.
Yes.
driver. I don't know. There's a whole thing about how a couple of years ago, Will Buxton beat Nicholas Latifi
In what?
in go-karts while Latifi was driving in the rain. Buxton was on slicks, and he still beat him.
Eh.
I saw that.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just randomly saw that story yesterday.
Fascinating. Was it like
Don't know why.
little rental carts? Because there could be a lot to that story where
Yes.
like remember watching
Yeah.
the thing? Like,
Well,
I think,
it-
was it the Bahrain race or where they had the go karts before that? And like clearly
Yes.
there was a very big pace difference in those go karts.
Yes.
So I wouldn't
I just
read
found
too
it.
much into that.
No, I just found it hilarious.
So would you like also say that Logan Sargent has talent?
Definitely.
Interesting.
Every one of the F1 drivers have talent. Are they the top 20 best drivers in the world? No. Some probably
That's
are,
fair.
but definitely not all of them.
Yes. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that.
Now we can transition to Japanese Grand Prix.
The race that's going to have rain, probably
Oh, that's what, I got you.
99.9%.
Steven, what's the forecast?
That's what I'm checking right now.
Oh.
Do. Man, I can't even make that sound anymore. It pisses me off. Me and Steven had trivia last night, and one of the categories was TV game show themes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got blown out of the water on that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Do you know how many game shows there were back in like the 70s and 80s?
Oh yeah, there were tons.
Yeah.
Tons.
You know the
They're
popular ones that are still
painfully-
around that no one actually talks about? Like, of course,
Yes.
none of the questions were the ones that anyone knows. It's all the obscure things that, you know, For anyone born after the 90s or in the 90s to after, no clue. No clue, any of us.
Boo.
It was a revenge game because last week was too high scoring.
Yeah. So.
I see.
Weather for this week has dropped from 100% rain to 30% rain.
Ooh.
On Sunday. 30% on Saturday, 30% on Friday.
Ideally,
wow.
I want because again, I don't want rain in the race, like to start in the rain. I want rain to while it's going.
Well, that's what shakes it all up, right?
Exactly.
But, I mean, can we? Yeah. It's exciting though that like maybe the race will actually start at a good time and it won't be red flagged and we all won't be up until like 3 a.m. trying to watch this race.
What do you mean we?
Oh, hi,
I was the one that stayed up last time. You two can't say shit. You two got to suffer for the next 2 weeks, or yeah, one of you
2
each week
weeks.
has to.
I tried staying up.
China's afterwards. Don't forget.
Oh, I forgot that we're like constantly in this like morning times. Okay. All right. So, Sean, are you signing up for Japan or am I trying to sign up for Japan?
To be determined.
Okay. Well, I can commit to like attempting. I will set an alarm for like 12:55.
Saturday, me and Steven and some of our friends are going to a Taylor Swift themed escape room. So depending how much my brain is on,
okay,
I don't know if I'm going to be staying up late or not.
I'm glad I bought a lot of Dr.
Fair
Pepper
enough.
on sale last week. That's going to need the highest of sugar rushes.
Just like have an IV drip of just Dr. Pepper into your vein.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Would it?
Oh, man.
But you wouldn't get the 23 flavors.
Ah, shit.
That sounds like an immediate like journey to diabetes.
Which means you're closer to death, which means it's a good idea.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay.
What?
Anyway, I will attempt to stay up. Can't promise anything. I will attempt.
I will also attempt. Narrator. And then we're all asleep by 11 o'clock.
Yep.
As is the life of us getting old. Yeah. Anything else this week?
I'm just checking.
I don't think there was any news.
Well, there was kind of for NASCAR.
Oh.
SHR might be selling a charter. Apparently.
Oh, I did see that.
To whom?
Apparently 2311.
Well, NASCAR IndyCar news too. Sorry, just thinking.
I was gonna say 2311. I think was a front runner. I'm trying to remember who the other front runners were.
For a third car from them.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise, right? They're doing well. You have a driver in the top 10, and then you got Bubba. So, I don't know if it would stay within Ford, like if it would maybe go to RFK. Or Front Row or Trackhouse. A lot of places it could go. It's just who's going to pony up the money for it.
Oh God, I missed this.
But if you were going to cut one of the SHR guys, if this does end up happening, who do you cut? Is it Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Chase Briscoe, or Ryan Preece?
Gragson.
I think that's the easy choice.
Mm-hmm.
Newest guy of the team hasn't been wow. Barry's older, but he's done well and is probably like a high floor, low ceiling guy that can give you points every week. Briscoe's been probably the best guy on that team.
Yeah, that team is definitely not as what it used to be.
No. So, nothing confirmed yet, but we will see if SHR sells a charter.
Fair enough. Speaking of charters, I am sending you an article right now for the two of you.
Okay.
It came out a couple hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah, on Racer. So yeah, apparently they are working to. Penske Entertainment is working on finalizing their proposal for the charter system.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we're gonna get an Indy car. Yeah, yeah.
No.
Ooh. They're looking to share initial framework of the charter with its entrance leading into its marquee event, the May 26th Indianapolis 500. So, yeah. It's going to model after the NASCAR charter system.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
And considering you also have more interest from, who is it now? Was it Prima that was looking to join IndyCar now? I think they had a... I remember there was some team that's I think a European team that's looking to join IndyCar. That was Prima. Could have been another one. Also, it could have been April Fool's thing I saw.
Maybe.
January 11th. Yeah, Prima considering IndyCar program. Yeah, so Prima is another group that's looking why you would get a charter and make it harder for new teams to join. I don't understand. I really hope this gets shot down so fast.
Yeah. You gotta
Considering
read through this whole thing.
Okay, two of your biggest players in NASCAR, Andretti and Ganassi. Ganassi left the charter system. He bailed on NASCAR. Who did he sell his charters to? Do you guys remember? Trackhouse.
No, of course not.
Trackhouse.
Oh.
That was Ganassi. And Ganassi's
Right.
like, I'm out, and sold it all to Trackhouse. So I'm going to guess Ganassi's probably not going to be very pro-charter. I'm going to guess Andretti is not going to be pro-charter. Like, I don't know if this actually works. And
Well, it's all when the first round of the rumors came out. It wasn't it like a whole bunch of it was the first meeting a month or something ago, where it was like, no, everyone was like, no, why are we doing this? Drivers, owners, pundits, fans.
they would have a limit of 25, 27 cars for everything besides the 500. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's happening.
Stupid.
Yay.
Hmm.
Anyone else have any good news? Anything?
I guess good news next week is Indy 500 testing.
Woohoo!
So
Yay?
there's IndyCar stuff next week.
So like we're
10th.
almost to the return of IndyCar. Almost.
Ish, but not really.
Yeah,
I know.
We gotta wait for the summer for that, which still feels so long
Like-
away.
Yeah, like it'll be
Yeah.
good because you get to see Kyle Larson in a IndyCar for the first time. I think he's testing. I can't remember the full lineup, but
Oh damn.
yeah, that's a week away.
Well, that is some good news.
Yeah. Hopefully that can come sooner than later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so until then, we just got F1 and NASCAR this weekend. Not sure whatever else is going to be coming down the pipe, but yeah. Anything else we got?
No, I think that's pretty much it for this week.
Okay.
Shorter week.
Before we go, because this is a shorter week, can we do an overrated, underrated? We haven't done one of those in a while.
return!
That was
We
the
haven't done
last
one.
fucking time we did this.
I know, right?
Oh, all
So-
right.
It was Easter this week.
Yes.
I would like to propose to everyone's overrated, underrated, favorite, least favorite, Easter candy. Easter sweets.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
You can start with.
This is a hard
Start
one.
with the overrated first.
Oh, none. Do you have one in mind? Because I have probably the biggest sweet tooth on the podcast, so I am a terrible person to ask this question to.
And you were saying we're diabetic. Come on. Okay, so
All right.
I can go first for an overrated.
Sure.
Okay.
Mini eggs. I'm not saying they're bad.
Wow.
I'm not saying they're bad, but what I
that-
will be saying is that I don't think they need to be put in everything. I don't need to go to Tim Hortons and get a mini egg donut. I don't need to have like mini eggs on so much thing. Mini eggs are fantastic on their own. To start throwing them around like they're pumpkin spice lattes or pumpkin spice or whatever when it comes to Easter,
What? No.
it's ridiculous. No, just
Full
give
stop.
me a bag of mini eggs and that's it.
Full stop. What is wrong with you?
I'm not saying they're
overrated.
bad. I'm just saying they're a little overrated. They don't need to be in everything.
Okay. Well,
All right, next
you
up
are
for overrated,
so
Sean.
wrong.
Sean, overrated.
So wrong, but okay. Anyway, I would say overrated. I think the Lindt chocolate bunnies. I love them, but I feel like they're not the best thing.
Yeah, okay, that's
I
not a
don't know.
bad one.
I was gonna say chocolate bunnies in general,
Yeah, that's fair.
right? Like it's like a chocolate loony. It's just chocolate. It's like your basic chocolate shaped in a different
In
way.
a bunny.
That's fair.
Get it
But
every
nothing-
holiday.
Nothing is worse than those cheap chocolate bunnies that are just like the grossest chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna get to one of those. Don't you worry. I can get to that. Okay, so that's everyone's overrated. Is for me, it's
Yeah.
mini eggs. Not that I'm saying they're bad. I'm just
Wrong.
saying that, okay.
So
And
wrong.
you guys say it's Lindt chocolate bunnies.
I was just saying chocolate bunnies in general.
Okay.
Gotta see that damn meme. My butt hurts because the chocolate
What?
bunny got its butt bitten up. Got its butt bit off, and then the other one has its ears bit off, and it just says, "What?"
Yeah, I love that one. I posted that back in like grade 8 to Facebook. I remember that one vividly.
You cringe
Pops up every few years. It's great. Underrated? These little guys. The little eggs that you get that you have to go chase around. Oh, I just dropped one. These little eggs.
Get it, Tooth.
Damn it, no cat.
Get it.
Oh, man. Anyway, I think those eggs are delicious. I can eat so many of these. I think these things are underrated.
I would agree with that, but specifically the dairy milk ones. Because those are so good.
The
I
ones that have no
hate the
brand on
generic
them.
ones.
No, the generic ones are the
Oh,
better one.
no. I disagree. The dairy milk ones are so good. But I'm also a dairy milk lover. Like I'm a purist when it comes to like British chocolate. Oh, top tier. Anyway, underrated.
Anytime.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like ones that are underrated.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
gonna
go
go
first
with the
then,
dairy
Mikey.
milk ones.
You think they're
The little mini
Okay,
eggs.
fine.
I was gonna say the like chocolate egg Oreo truffles. I don't know if this is like a common thing.
What?
What?
It's almost like a
Go on.
cake with like an Oreo cream filling. You guys ever had those?
Nope.
No.
Oh, they're so good.
I can understand why they can be underrated because I've never heard of these.
There you go.
That's definitely like underrated.
That is fair.
That sounds delicious. And I
Yeah,
need to
right.
find these.
My aunt makes them. They're so good.
Oh, they're homemade. Okay, well that explains.
Oh.
Well, no,
okay.
but it is like a common, or not a common thing, but like I don't know. I've had it for a lot of Easters. They're very good.
Fair enough.
Sounds very good.
Everyone's favorite?
Mini eggs. Absolutely mini eggs and everything with mini eggs on it. Also, I have two favorites. I also
No.
love
You get one.
these.
You get one. You get one.
But no, the chocolate eggs that have like the buttons inside and it's the Cadbury chocolate, so good. And white chocolate is top tier.
Okay.
But mini eggs probably takes the cake.
I'm gonna go with one. This might confuse Americans. Kinder eggs.
Of course.
Is that really?
But those
Easter?
I was gonna say, is that really an Easter thing though? Because you can get them at any time of the year.
I get them at Easter usually.
Oh, I see.
So to me,
Okay.
yes, that one counts. And also you get nice little chocolate and you get a toy. Why is that not the best? Like, come on. Unless it's a puzzle.
Okay. Right on.
You
Fair
ever got
enough.
those puzzles? Man,
Fair
that's the
enough.
worst.
With the tiny puzzles?
Oh, I hated those. It's like a little 4-piece puzzle. It's like, wow, how can this fit? Lazy puzzles. Anyway, Steven?
Probably mini eggs. Those things are like crack come Easter.
They are like crack. They
That's
are
right.
like crack. I've got my little brand name mini eggs. And then I have some generic Walmart ones, which are not as good as the mini eggs.
That's fair. That's fair. So least favorites?
Okay, this one might be controversial. Cadbury cream eggs.
I don't think it's that controversial. I'm not a fan of them either. I'm not a big fan of Cadbury.
Sorry, in general?
Yeah, honestly.
Huh?
I don't.
What?
I'm not a big fan of Cadbury chocolates. I think I just broke Taylor.
Probably.
I'm actually speechless. I can't. Okay. All right. Steven, what is your least favorite?
I was gonna say Cadbury eggs too.
Yeah,
Really
cream
fan
eggs
of
are not good. I just don't like them. 0 out of 10.
I was gonna go with those disgusting, either giant bunnies or giant eggs that are made of the absolute worst tasting, cheapest chocolate. It tastes like you're just chewing chalk. Like, it doesn't even taste sweet. It just tastes like ass. Those,
It's like
yeah. Oh, I might not like the Cadbury whatever egg thingies you're saying. Yeah, no, I'll take a handful of those over one of these giant things that I'm not going to finish in one sitting, and then it's just going to get fucking stale and taste even worse.
so gross. It is so it's like the dollar store chocolate bunnies that, or like the weird ones that are shaped as like a character from your a show,
They're like
but it's
hollow.
like the most generic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most generic chocolate that's gross. And somehow when you chew it, it becomes chewy.
Yeah, it's
Not melty, it's chewy.
It's gross.
It's
Yeah.
so nasty. And yet we've all had one.
Everyone has had one of those where they're just like, or you get that one family member. Everyone has that one family member who might just be cheap. And listen, it's either you are that family member or you have that family member who gives you that chocolate, and you're like, man, a card with $20 would have been nicer, Everyone knows that terrible chocolate. It's one of the worst.
Yeah, it's probably the worst. The worst chocolate.
Yeah. Anyway, is that all we got for this week?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, on that wonderful note, thank you very much for listening. Do all the liking and subscribing and rating and all those things. Feel free to also give us a follow on social media and all the other things that are said in the intro. Thank you and goodbye. Wait, outro, not intro. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.